If your doctor just advised you to start medication to lower your cholesterol and you're wondering if there might be a more holistic, natural way to go, then you are at the right place. Welcome to The Healthy View. Today we're talking about how to lower your cholesterol levels naturally. I'm Lisa Lutan, and I'm here today with my beautiful and brilliant co-hosts, Andrea Beeman and Michelle Fenninghouse. We are expert health coaches who collectively have helped a gazillion people around the world get happier and healthier while staying sane and having fun. Let's dive in. Ladies, there's so much confusion out there about cholesterol. Is it good? Is it bad? What's its relationship with inflammation? Do foods high in cholesterol increase our levels, or is that a myth? And what's the best way to lower it naturally? What are your thoughts on this, you guys? Michelle?
Well, you're right. There's a lot of controversy about cholesterol right now. What's too high? What's too low? Don't even get us started on statins. Maybe we'll get into that in just a few minutes. But I wanted to share what I've experienced with my own clients through the years, because after just a couple of weeks, this has happened a number of times. I'll have a client just go and they get regular, blood work done at their checkup at the doctor, not really expecting anything. And when the blood work comes back, they're like, OMG. And their doctor's like, what have you been doing? And they're so thrilled because, and again, this has happened a number of times. They'll say, my cholesterol went down by half. And everyone's like, how did this happen? Including the doctors who are really, really stumped. And they know, my clients know that the only thing different is that, of course, we've been working together. They've been changing their food. So I'm thinking about one woman right now who's like, the most amazing thing is that I'm eating more fat now than I ever ate before. So how can I possibly explain this to my doctor? So for everyone to be clear, I'm not talking about like keto levels of fat intake, but she was eating a pat of butter on her sweet potatoes. She's drizzling olive oil all over her broccoli, eating the skin when she has chicken, eating the yolks when she has eggs, right? So lots of cholesterol happening and fats in general. And what I've witnessed is that, people who have high cholesterol see this big reduction when they cut out processed food and they cut out the sugar. And I don't mean like no apples or oranges or natural forms of sugar, but just the processed stuff. They're eating way more fresh vegetables, whole grains, and they eat plenty of fat, more than they ever did before, which is the really amazing part. So I would say that cholesterol has a whole lot more to do with inflammation in the body than it has to do with kind of how much cholesterol you're eating in your food. Because when there's inflammation, the damage is inside the blood vessels, and your body uses cholesterol. I think of it as a Band-Aid. So if there's like scratches on the inside of your blood vessel, your body's like, cool, I got a Band-Aid for that, and seals that up for you. So it serves a really nice purpose, actually, and cholesterol does a lot of great stuff for the body, but that's one of them. Now, of course, when our blood vessels are extremely damaged and you need a Band-Aid, and you need another Band-Aid, and you need another Band-Aid, okay, now we have a problem because things are getting a little clogged up in there. So I'm saying eat great food, make it tasty by including that pat of butter if it's going to make you enjoy your potato, and cut out the processed stuff from the diet, and then talk to me about 3 or 4 weeks. So if that sounds like a good plan, hit the like button, leave a comment. We want to hear from you and some of your questions around cholesterol. Now, Andrea, I know you have even more goodness to share on this topic. What do you got?
Well, I don't know if it's goodness, more as anger.
Anger goodness.
Yeah, I think that the high cholesterol subject is an old myth that needs to be put out of its misery. It started in the 1950s, and it has been going strong ever since, and it's a big, fat lie. And as Michelle said, cholesterol is actually a good thing. It is. It protects your body. It's like a salve. It's like a Band-Aid. It helps your body synthesize vitamin D and many of your hormones. Plus, our liver creates cholesterol in response to stress and damage, just like what Michelle said. So we need cholesterol. We can't actually live without it. So the cholesterol bull crap that has been perpetuated by the American Medical Association and Big Pharma is nonsense. And statins are the biggest selling drugs of all time. So there is a lot of money at stake here if people knew that the high cholesterol thing was bullcrap. And I say bullcrap because look what happens when Michelle tells her clients, hey, just stop eating the crap. And what happens inside the body, the inflammation calms down, right? The body has to produce less cholesterol, right, to take care of all the damage. So for those of you, oh, don't get me started. For those of you that don't know what statin drugs do, they stop the liver from producing cholesterol. And this has caused more harm to people than high cholesterol ever will. So taking statin drugs leads to muscle wasting, muscle pain, high blood sugar, type 2 diabetes, and early onset senility and memory loss. So when I have clients that come to me and they're taking statins and they're like, I don't know why, but I can't remember things. I can't. And I'm like, okay, you know, it's no surprise. They're on this statin lowering drug, right? And their brain is coated in a sheath of cholesterol, right? So of course their memory is going to be affected. And by the way, there are so many articles out there that you can read about how elders with higher cholesterol are healthier and live longer than those with low cholesterol. That's because the older you get, the more damage there is to the inside of the body, right? And that's just a natural occurrence. It's not a bad thing. It's just life, right? It's just life. So I'll give you a great example. My dad had high cholesterol his entire life. I'm talking in the upper 300s. And when he was in his mid 70s, the doctors finally put him on statins. And once he started taking those statins, his body began breaking down at a very quick rate. And eventually they put him on Coumadin, which I think is the devil drug of them all. It's not a statin, but it's anti-clotting. But after that, he had a series of strokes and then one big stroke that knocked him flat. So, you know, cholesterol, we need it. It protects the brain. It protects the cells. It protects the body. And I'll give you one final example, because like I said, this makes me angry. Cholesterol and what they're doing with it makes me angry. So one more example, I had a friend that had triple bypass. He was in his 60s when he had his triple bypass. And he was a big sugar junkie. He could eat dessert with breakfast, dessert with lunch, dessert with dinner. So this is what contributed to his heart disease, right? And his clogged arteries. It was all the sugar. It wasn't everything else. All the great food he was eating. It was just the sugar. He was a sugar junkie. And he asked me to give him a diet to support his heart. This is after he had his triple bypass. And I told him all the great foods that would help to manage his cholesterol naturally, you know, to manage his body naturally: garlic, dark leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, fresh fruits, olive oil. And you know what he told me? He said, my doctor said I can't eat garlic and I can't eat green vegetables because they'll interfere with my drugs.
Ah.
Yeah. So don't get me started on cholesterol. It's just plain bullcrap sandwich to sell drugs.
So it's funny because whenever I hear somebody that I know who said, oh, I have to go on cholesterol, you know, medication, Lipitor, whatever, I'll say, you know, you really need to research this before you do this. You know, not only there was a study in 2008 that showed that turmeric was just as effective as Lipitor. And that's if you want to even go that way where you think that you need to lower it. I love what you guys are saying, that, you know, we don't even need to lower it, that all that information just doesn't make sense to begin with. But another thing to keep in mind is even when the doctors really start figuring this out, it takes an average of 17 years for the data to make it from the scientists to everyday doctors giving advice. So even if the common knowledge out there has changed on cholesterol, you're probably not going to hear it from your doctor for a really long time. So I really urge you to start researching this on your own before you go fill that prescription and see, you know, what is the best thing for you and your body.
Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm glad we got to throw down about cholesterol today. And if you have any questions, hit us up in the comments. We're going to be back next week with the show about chocolate, just in time for Valentine's Day. So make sure to subscribe to The Healthy View on YouTube and on iTunes. And if you'd like one very, very brief email each week, just updating you on when our latest show airs, you can sign up for that at healthyviewshow.com. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.